This is the plaintiff, Gary Northrup. He says the defendant, the ex-wife he has 4 kids with, owes him money and won't pay. He has overpaid child support for years. The defendant ignores his requests for payment, and if he has to drag her to court to get his money back, then so be it. He's suing for $2,700.10, the amount owed. This is the defendant, Karen Northrup. She says she and the plaintiff have been in and out of court for 20 years, and this lawsuit is an attempt to control her and the kids. He hasn't a leg to stand on today in this court because he has no case, and she knows the judge will agree based on all the facts. She's accused of not giving refunds.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says his ex-wife owes him money, but she says that this has been an ongoing nightmare that has gone on for 20 years. It's the case of get divorced already.
Thank you, Douglas. Gary Northrup, you are suing your ex-wife, Karen Northrup, for $2,007.10 that you say was overpaid to her in child support. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, in 2013, I was brought aware of some of my children were legally allowed to be emancipated, and I have been overpaying.
Why were they emancipated?
One graduated college. One had actually found out.
How old were they?
21, 22, and I think my son was 19 at the time.
Did you not realize that child support ends at some point?
Yes, but the court order said 22 if they were going to school, and I have very little to no contact.
With your kids?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
It is. This is a long, drawn-out history, and I've been fighting in courts for years, and thank God I've been winning all the time.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're a winner when you have little or no contact with your children. How many children do you have?
I have 4 with her.
How many children do you have entirely?
5.
Okay, and you have no contact with any of the 4?
Just my son. He showed up on my door when she kicked him out. And he wanted a new life away from her. He was trying to get back with his wife.
Okay, but we digress.
Okay.
Let's go to the overpayment in 2013.
Okay.
What is it that happens in 2013? You realize that either your child is not in school or the age has come or something.
Yes.
And so you go to court and say, hey, and you show the order to the judge, and
Yeah.
the judge says, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
From this day forward, it will be X.
The court told me when I went and filed that it'd be retroactive from the date of filing. The judge told me that, and it's in the order.
Is it in an order?
It is in the
let me
order.
see the order.
I got so many.
Okay. What happens after the order is entered on October 17th? How long does it take child support to figure out how to obey the order?
About a month.
Okay. And so from then on in, they obey the order. But you point out to the child support people, wait, I need to be getting credit because the judge lowered the child support payment. Retroactive to August 16th. And what do they say?
Put it nicely, tough. When I got the order, I faxed it to them right away, and they called me and they said, we don't do that.
Talk to me. According to him, he overpaid you in 2013, and then it happened again, but with a much smaller amount in 2016. How would that happen? Because it got modified again in 2016?
It got modified again, yeah.
Because you went out on disability?
Yes, permanently.
Okay.
And,
so now, according to him, you have been overpaid $2,007.10. What's your position on this?
That's not the truth, and there's nothing in the order that reads he's to receive anything retroactive.
It is in the order.
Well, the judge...
Here, it's circled right here on this page, highlighted in yellow, retroactive to August, whatever. It's right in the order.
Which they did modify the order, so I'm not understanding.
Right, but not retroactive to August 16th, right? Like they didn't give him any credit for payments that it appears the judge is saying he was overpaying. He wasn't supposed to be paying that child support because the child was emancipated. Like we don't let people sit on their hands forever. We don't say, oh, let's go back to the date of emancipation. He's got to do something, but he did something on August 16th. That's when he filed it. Okay, so based on these documents, You are suing for $1,913.10 in overpayment. Every 2 weeks they were taking out $483 when clearly a judge had said that they were only supposed to be taking out $210 since that date. So they can't just take their sweet time. They say they can, but they can't. So that's why he's here suing you. And now let me ask you a question. How long have you been divorced from him?
We legally separated December 1997. I went to a battered woman's shelter with the 4 children at the time. They were 2, 4, 5, and 6 because of his abuse. We didn't actually get divorced
until... Did you ever call the police on him for physical abuse?
Many, many times, and they did absolutely nothing because he'd run out and he'd greet the cops at the curb, and he had his story, and so basically...
And it was 1997.
It came down to, this is before any good laws actually started happening for our benefit. So we divorced in 2005, eventually.
Okay, but what, so did he see his kids?
No. That's
never? Not from the...
He had visitation with them through 2005. Then he moved to Florida. And then he didn't really make any effort to have contact with them. So the visitation order changed. The oldest girl aged out, and the rest of the children would not fly. And if they didn't want to fly, they didn't have to go. So visitation at that point ceased.
Come on up. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Hi, my dear.
Hi.
So if you're 20, you don't really remember them together very much, do you?
Not really, no.
Do you remember any abuse?
Not.
But your mom's told you about it?
Yeah.
Do you have any contact with him?
No.
Have you ever had any contact with him?
Not since I was younger.
Why don't you have a relationship with your children? I mean, I imagine the day your children were born, you were happy, right? Like you were a happy couple having 4 kids. Not 1, not 2, not 3.
If I wasn't working, I had the kids. The first 2 years of us...
No, listen to my question. Yeah. Why don't you talk to your children?
She won't allow it.
But since when does she get to be the arbiter of whether or not you talk to your children?
It's been almost 20 years. I have...
Why did you let it happen?
Who is she? This is my beautiful wife, Rosa.
Okay, how long has Rosa been in the picture?
We've been together 11 years. We've been married for 6.
Okay. And does Rosa ever talk to you about this and say maybe you should have a relationship with your children?
We tried. We've talked. That's why she's a blessing, because she helped me with my son. She paid almost half. To set him up in a new life in Florida, we spent over $7,000, and she gave me half of that money to help my son. We're very close to his in-laws. We still talk to the in-laws. We are allowed to see my grandson. They have it down there.
Is there anything else you want to say that makes sure that it hurts her? You have a beautiful new wife. You're very close to your grandkid.
I don't want it to hurt her. I just want truth. That's all I ask.
Do you care to comment on the allegations that she made against you?
Yeah, it's all false. If you can investigate family court, she was convicted for interfering with my parental rights on 4 counts.
Did you beat her?
No.
Did you ever hit her?
I admitted to defending myself with her one time because she was the abusive one, and she would go tell him what she did to me. Also, in criminal court...
How many times were the police called to your house?
Oh, I can't believe it. I don't know
how many times did you get arrested for it?
She had me arrested on phone calls 4 times, and I went to jail for overnight.
Phone calls that were violating a restraining order?
That's what she claimed.
Well, no. What were you charged with? If you went to jail, you were charged with something.
Threatening phone calls, making threatening phone calls.
Okay. Was there a restraining order in effect?
Yeah, because...
That you were violating by making any phone call, even to say, I love you.
But I proved in court they weren't made.
Okay, so you ended up pleading guilty?
No. I told him I would go to jail before I plead guilty to something I didn't do.
So what is it you took a plea to?
I didn't take a plea. I demanded a trial.
And what happened in the trial?
They couldn't get a trial.
Why can't they get it? It's right there.
Because I had the evidence to prove that I was innocent, and that's on court record.
So what happened?
The judge apologized to me twice. He yelled at the DA twice, and he said, I can't believe you made this guy come to court for 2.5 years when they had the evidence within 2 months that I was innocent.
What was the evidence that you were innocent?
Phone records. All the phone records, in and out. 2 of the phone calls she made to me. I had everything on tape. I did all kinds of things to protect myself.
All right. Show me the overpayment in 2016.
It's hard to understand because now I'm paying it myself. The judge handling the case It said in the beginning that it'll be retroactive again, and she made it retroactive.
Do you have it in writing that the judge said it's retroactive?
Same as the other one.
Okay. Prove to me the $94 overpayment. How is it you plan to prove that?
This is what puts me in arrears. They took more than the amount that I put in there. I put in 116, but they took the 210.
This is on what date?
On the 8th of August. And
what was the date of the order?
It should be July 22nd, Your Honor.
July 22nd. So you know?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you know, why is it you don't return the money that you know you're not
It
entitled to?
wasn't an overpayment. It's right now, it's in arrears. It's over $80 behind.
Okay, so be honest with me. Who is pettier post-divorce, men or women?
I think men, because there is a case of a guy who split everything up after the divorce. So he split up a car, split up furniture. So I think that's pretty.
You mean actually cut it?
Yeah, cut it.
I got you. Okay.
I'd say whoever is getting divorced.
No. Men or women?
I'd say men in some cases.
Okay, we got to go to a guy, right? Okay, what do you say?
I think men and sometimes women.
No, you can't do men and sometimes women. Come on.
Women, of course.
Because?
I'm just saying. Maybe she's going for the assets and, only thinking about the money, so.
Nice assets, right?
Nice assets.
Gotcha. Go inside the courtroom.
On July 11th, it says he paid $140. And we know it's retroactive to July 15th. So July 11th, he should have been paying $210.
Well, I had to make...
I know, you're listening?
Yes.
Your own evidence shows that on July
If you look
11th,
at
your
the
payment
date,
was short.
you look-
Do you understand what I just said? I
Yes.
need to make sure you understand.
I'm going to explain it to you,
Right,
please.
so that means
If you
that
add
you
the
are,
$70
you are short $70.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on July 22nd, you pay $70.
Right.
But you're making up a short payment, and then there's a missed payment. Yeah, your own proof doesn't show you. You know what? No, you're not owed forget it. You're not owed the $94. Your own proof doesn't show it. You're deficient in that, and you have the burden of proving it. You've messed it up yourself. I can't figure it out, neither can you. Done. I am ordering in your favor the amount of the overpayment. You can't keep that. If you know that you can't keep it, why do you keep it all these years?
We were instructed by the judge, who we were just again in front of.
You just saw the order, and was it news to you that the order said retroactive to August 13th, or did you know that?
My understanding from the judge is support enforcement has their own rules. This is how they do things, and this is what I was sent. And as I was destitute and homeless,
the real answer is
I took the money.
Well, then now you got to pay back the money because the money was overpaid. Okay.
Well,
why
not
did you
by my
wait
fault.
3 years to sue her on this money?
Because when I was told I had to go to the county where she was, at that time in November, I was going out on disability. I was getting surgery. My stepdaughters made arrangements for us to go to Florida so I can recuperate
I know, but how did
there.
3 years pass? I'm just curious.
Because I was working and I had to work a lot of hours and my job didn't really care to take time off.
Okay, I'm going to stop asking. $1,913.10, verdict for the plaintiff.
So the plaintiff is awarded $1,900 here in court. Karen Northrup's just come out of the courtroom. Ms. Northrup, you just learned something here, then, obviously.
Yes, I did.
I gather.
Yes, I did.
So, this family situation sounds like a real mess. It's been a bad experience.
It's been a very bad experience living through his abuse and his control, and he continues. This is just another way of being abusive. But,
Think this will be the end of it?
No.
No?
Absolutely
Do you have
not.
any desire to have a relationship with your dad?
Not really. He's never had a desire to be with me, so.
Well, that's such a shame. I'm so sorry to hear
I've
this.
never kept his children from him. He just lacks as a parent, and I can't help that.
All right. Thank you so much. You must sign some documents with our bailiff outside. Okay? Thank you very much. Now here comes Mr. Northrop. Gary, I got to ask you, do you have any desire to have a relationship with your kids? I think anybody watching this wants to know the same thing. They could care less about the money. They want to know, how do you feel about
I
your
would
kids?
like to have a relationship with them, but it's been 20 years of their abuse.
But that's not them. It's your wife.
I know, but it's a long, drawn-out history with child abuse on her part, and false claims. That's why.
Bottom line is, a lot of people think you really are turning out to be a rather lousy dad. Would you agree?
No, my wife could testify to that and what I've tried to be with him, and the only time we would hear from him is when.
You just heard your daughter say she didn't want to have a relationship with you at all.
I expected that. I mean, after 20 years of abuse by her mother.
All right.
You know,
Well, we're not going to patch it up now, are we?
No.
I guess not.
All right.
You happy with the money? I guess you are. Okay.
Not really. But
Well, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
So you got it. Thank you very much. Harvey, sad case.
Okay, look, I mean, we have seen scores and scores, maybe hundreds of cases in the People's Court involving divorced people over time, where they really just don't get divorced even though they have a piece of paper saying they have been, because they can't let go. At a point, short of going to court, get a neutral third party, somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight, to sit down and listen to you as a sounding board. If you guys can agree on that, sometimes it knocks sense into both sides, and then you can go on living your life.